What's going on, you guys? Hailing from the East, is your boy Dan the Beast 94 here, coming back at you with another video and somewhat of breaking news. So, the news that is out right now, article that I've seen within the past hour or so now, is Mustafa Ali has requested his release from WWE. Um, as you guys probably seen, he posted on his Instagram. He posted on his Twitter, basically just saying he wants to fulfill more dreams outside of WWE, and he's not going to be able to accomplish those while he's still in WWE. Therefore, he's requesting his release. I can't really give you in depth or quote exactly what he said, but just to sum it up. But you guys are probably wondering or questioning, why would you do a video on Mustafa Ali, out of all people who've requested a release, or people who have been released within the past year or so now? You figure, I probably could have did a video on guys like Buddy Murphy or Aleister Black, Nia Jax, Jeff Hardy, even though he'd already been released for like the third time already. Third's not really a charm, I guess. But I mean, all due respect to Jeff Hardy, he's still one of my favorites. But I feel like I've really gotten to the visual point where I don't like to say that I'm late to the party. I don't want to be like considered one of those guys. But now things for WWE are really steering in the wrong direction. And I feel like this is going to be WWE's downfall. With losing all these acquisitions who've been with the company the past not even 10 years, um, which is crazy. I mean, a lot of them were with the company for more than that. Guys like William Regal, that took a shock to all, a shock to us all, as he was one of the guys who practically led the new wave of superstars when it came to the original NXT, or the gold brand of NXT. And, he was with WWE for over 20 years until they decided to let them go, just because NXT was going into this new direction with 2.0. And, it's crazy, especially with the turn of events that's going on. Um, you know, Possibly seeing a unification match at WrestleMania. There's no confirmation on that. It's just something that really stands out to mind, because I really feel like that's what's going to happen between Rock and Brock and Roman Reigns. They're basically just going to unify the belts, because, I mean, let's just face it, they don't really have a lot of talent performing on the main shows. I mean, you have your main events. You still have 205 Live, which I'm still pretty skeptical about, because how is that still going on? And the Cruiserweight title is not even active anymore. That's pretty much retired. As we saw Carmelo Hayes defeat Roderick Strong at the NXT event just a week or so back. But the point I'm trying to make is, WWE, somebody had commented that WWE is becoming a cancer. Vince McMahon is becoming a cancer. Especially with everything that has gone on. I mean, there was rumors about Vince possibly selling his mansion, which is still pretty much in the air, I guess, because I haven't really seen much info since. But especially with this situation now with Mustafa Ali, I guess Mustafa Ali was sent home weeks ago, and he basically hasn't performed since. And he requesting his WWE release, this is pretty much another budget cut, I guess you would say. Um, but the guy has so much potential. He could definitely make it else. He could definitely make it elsewhere, no matter where he goes. And I'm not just saying AEW. There's other promotions out there nowadays you could freelance with. It's pretty much like the old territory days, but now there's pretty much, you can pretty much go anywhere. There's Impact, like I said, AEW, there's MLW, there's GCW, I guess you could say, um, uh, PWG, Japan, NWA. Um, but yeah, but you guys really got to look at it this way. At one point, WWE was really, really good. WWE was the place that everybody wanted to go. For example, let's say the late 90s, early 2000s, the dying days of WCW, everybody wanted to go to the WWE. Back then was the WWF, but you had pretty much a lot of major acquisitions, switch sides because obviously things weren't panning out right for WCW. And I guess you could say pretty much with ECW too, but ECW was pretty much going through bankruptcy as Paul Heyman pretty much couldn't afford to really pay anybody at this point. But there was a lot of guys who were still loyal to Heyman because Heyman treated them right. But when it comes to WCW, the way people are booked, it's kind of pretty much reminiscing and shades of, you know, how WWE's performing today. A lot of people not getting that proper exposure. WWE was basically the main alternative when it came to like the late 90s, early 2000s. Even after WCW was bought out, you pretty much had a lot of the big names jump shift, with guys like Goldberg, Hulk Hogan returning to the company along with Hall and Nash, um, Diamond Dallas Page, Booker T, and pretty much so later on when Sting finally made his debut in 2014 at the Survivor Series. But at one point, WWE was the alternative and basically the main place to go because everybody wanted that main exposure. But if you look at days like WCW and everything, they went through that same process. They went through that same, you know, and unfortunately, it went down to selling the organization. So WWE bought them out, and WWE's really not trying to do anything different to make a drastic change into which everybody could be satisfied, because there's still a lot of people who are not satisfied with the product. You know, I'll tune in every now and then. Um, Pay-per-views definitely, but when it comes to like the main shows, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, it's like I'll catch glimpse. I'll see some highlights, but other than that, it's something that is just I can't sit here and watch a full 2 to 3 hours of Monday Night Raw like I could back in 2002, 2003. It's just not the same. And now with WWE possibly opening up these forbidden doors, um, Mickey James, coming in with the Impact Women's Championship for the Women's Royal Rumble match, kind of big. I mean, WWE has had mentions of TNA and Impact when it came to like home videos and um, bios on the network or Peacock, but now there's supposedly this forbidden door for somebody to enter the men's Royal Rumble who's never participated or basically been under contract for WWE. So, I mean, WWE may do some cool things here and there, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you're not on TV or if they're not using you the right way or they're making all these budget cuts, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't really have to be big. You really don't have to go to WWE to be big anymore. If you're a name and you've been out there and you've been exposed on TV, there's going to be people that know you. But the way I see it, it's like WWE is practically on its knees right now. And who knows what might happen. Especially with WWE releasing practically every person Triple H has hired. It's like, wow. Like, obviously, things ain't turning out so good. I mean, especially with all the guys that they lost last year. Half of that acquisition practically jumped shift to AEW. Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, Ruby Soho, Christian, just to name a few. But it's sad. It's really sad. Even Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. But yeah, I mean, it's just really sad. And I'm sure wherever Mustafa Ali goes, I mean, he'll triumph. But I figured I'd just share that with you guys. Um, and I just want to say it's been 2 years since I've started YouTube. January 11th, I started my YouTube channel in 2020, pre-pandemic days. And couldn't be any more thankful. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in with me for this long. For some of you new subscribers, just check out some of my old videos. I want to say I've made an impact with some people in their lives when it came to me releasing my content. Just basically showing my love and passion for wrestling DVDs, home media, physical media, and just wrestling in general. So just want to thank you guys for that. And I'm just going to cut things off from here. So be sure to hit that like button, leave your comments in the comment section down below, and subscribe. Especially if you're going to be watching my videos and you're not subscribed. What are you doing? Hit that button. And until next time, guys, Dan the Beast 94, signing off.